What up, what up, what up? How's everybody doing on this here fine Saturday night? We've got, oh boy, have we got, we've got a little bit to work with and a ton of speculation to build off it. That's what we got tonight. Well, some other stories too. But the main attraction, oh baby, it's going to be good. It's going to be fun. I hope y'all are ready. Because I'm ready. And if you're not ready, you know what to do. You need to fill your cup. You need to light your smoke. And prepare for some severe nerdiness. Welcome to Saturday night. How's everybody doing? Welcome back into the basement. It is Saturday night. My camera's a little off. Please don't freeze. Please don't freeze. Please don't freeze. Cool. How y'all doing? What's up, Brady? Executive Judge. How you doing, Your Honor? What up, Alan? Hope you guys are doing well. I am doing well. Some fun little stuff popped off today and got my brain going, and we got some fun shit to talk about later. Whoops. And on a complete sports ball side note, I still cannot believe Michigan beat fucking Ohio State today. They had no right to win that game. On paper, their defense played well beyond their normal level. That's literally all I can say about that. They held the number 2 team in the nation to 10 whole points and 0 points in the second half. So, while that was beyond a shock, a total surprise, dumbfounding even, I have but one thing to say to you Ohio State fans. Oh, suck it, you bitches. 4 years in a row now. 1, 2, 3, 4 years in a row. If you were a freshman on the Buckeyes, you're now a senior on the Buckeyes, and you still ain't beat us. 13-10. It's not like we had an offensive explosion or anything. Like, our offense sucks. It has sucked. It'll probably suck in the lame-ass bowl game we're going to play in because for whatever dumbass reason they decided to let 500 teams have a bowl, even if it's just a shitty little bowl game. What up, David? What up, dude? But, yeah, I am well aware of my football team's faults. However, losing to Ohio State hasn't been one of them for 4 years now. Woo! Texas and A&M game is good. Cool. Cool. Like, I'll be honest, I didn't watch that game. I just followed it on the Twitters. What's up, Rob? I was just talking about the Michigan game I didn't watch and followed on the Twitters. And frankly, because the Lions Thanksgiving game did enough damage to me, I couldn't handle the Michigan game. I didn't want to watch a wipeout, and when I realized it was close, I didn't want to watch that shit either. Just because the Lions took it off. Oh, yeah, that started some shit, didn't it? Staking the flag. Arizona, whichever Arizona team is the Sun Devils, stuck their trident into their opponent's field, too. So, if you were a home team losing a rivalry game, shit done got started. It's about what it boils down to. You're a Mizzou man? Are you a Manning man as well? Eli, specifically? Or no, he was Ole Miss. Never mind. Forget I said that. Never mind. Oh, is Arizona State? Okay. Yeah, well, they stuck the pitchfork into the middle of Arizona's field. So, yeah. Rob says, good thing you didn't watch. It was a no-way game. Yeah, that's what I saw on the Twitters. I'm like, what the fuck is even happening here? But of course, obviously, the end result was highly satisfying and very surreal, given the fact that Michigan Wolverines football team is, well, kind of ass. It's just kind of ass. Of course, with that, we actually have 7 wins, but still. I'm not going to get started on how I feel about the modern bowl system, other than it's overblown and a bit of bullshit, and there really isn't that much entertainment value in watching 2 mediocre teams have a mediocre game, whether it's in a bowl or not. And I'm going to leave it there. Lions win or Wolverines win? Lions win. Granted, like I said, I did not expect the Wolverines to win, but, and trust me, I love the fact that, like, someone who started as a freshman in OSU still is now graduating, not ever beating Michigan. I love that. Probably way more than I should, but I'm that guy sometimes. But the Lions win. That was our first Thanksgiving win in how many years? 7 years? Yeah. So, and it put us to the very first time we've ever been 11-1. We've maintained our hold not only on the division, but as the #1 seed in the entire NFC. Yeah, well, Lions win is better. Or should I say Chicago's loss or Michigan's win? I mean, yeah, that's facts. If it wasn't for complete clock mismanagement by the now former head coach of the Bears, Matt Eberflus, yeah, we should have lost that fucking game. But on the other hand, as Mrs. Cillian aptly pointed out, it's about goddamn time that we got those breaks. Or we're the ones that failed to be that stupid. Executive Judge says, nah, be stuck up and cocky about your victories. I am too sometimes. I mean, when it's against a rival, not being at least a little bit douchey is almost unavoidable. Unless you're a very chill person. What up, Griff? I mean, normally I'm chill, but when it comes to like competition, whether I'm directly involved or not, if I'm a fan or if I'm actually part of said competition, my chill goes right out the window. I'm not nice. I don't care who you are. If I'm competing to win. Which is why Mrs. Chillin justifiably doesn't play too many games with me. Of course, thinking back on it, a few times I got her to play games, she kicked my ass, so I really don't know what she's worried about. So, Matthew, what's going on, man? Matthew says, I don't have cable. I even missed the Celtics winning their championship. No longer watch Red Sox or Bruins, especially not the Patriots. Yeah, they are. Oh, is it really? Oh, I've got it turned down here, and I've got it turned down over here. Guess I'll turn it down over here a little more. Is that any better? Let me know if that's any better, Griff. But we are spoiled for... Oh, you were... Yeah, Boston was championship city for a hot minute. I was extremely jealous. I'm still waiting for Iserman to get our my Red Wings together. Come on, Stevie. Just pretend you're in Tampa again if you have to. Just do what you did down there. You're ready for a cup here in the Motor City, my guy. And I'm now going to pause a moment to say welcome to all the people I can see are lurking. Thank you for hanging out. I very much appreciate you being here. And if you want to pop into the chat real quick and say hi, that'd be dope. If you're just cool lurking, I am cool with you lurking. Just hit the like button. That's all I really ask from you. Oh, and the subscribe button. And the notification bell. Yeah, just take a few seconds, tap those, and then go right, excuse me, go right back to what you were doing. Come on, you motherfucker. There you go. We sucked ever since Brady left. Yeah, the question of whether it was Belichick or Brady kind of got answered in a very massive way, didn't it? I think it's pretty safe to say it was Brady. Rob, Steve Yzerman is my hockey god. I mean, yeah, but I'd like to see him apply those divine powers into the executiveness and get us a goddamn team. But hey, Murr. How's the leg? So, but yeah, on the gridiron, it's been a pretty good last 3 days here in the D. I'm pretty happy about that shit. Some of them, I'm a bitch. And of course, one little photograph today popped off all kinds of fun talk and thoughts. It says, first season in Tampa was amazing. Second was embarrassing. No Gronk. What a joke. Yeah, good old Gronk. I mean, the dude was wearing a brace on every appendage, though. So, I mean, he had to retire sooner or later. Painful. Makes things challenging to do. Yeah, I bet. You're doing an exam while you're listening? Well, I would try and be courteous and not, and you know, say I'll do my best not to be distracting. But that's kind of my job. Is to be entertaining and therefore somewhat distracting. So good luck. and you're not doing your work last minute like usual. Well, good on you, because I am one of the seriously bad procrastinators. So, yeah, if you manage to avoid it, good job. C-Dub, I can't believe how much it has snowed at Josh's place. Those videos are nuts. Oh. Yeah, I haven't been on the Discord, so I haven't seen those, but now I think I should make it a point to go look later. A pic went viral? Rob asks, were you hacking my phone again? No. Not this time. Yes. There you go. That's literally the best way to put it, Rob. Oh, good. Thanks, Your Honor. Appreciate that. Yeah. All right. As come this Monday, we are getting a new Star Wars show. An article has come out. Oh, shit. Josh had to hike to the store on foot to get food today. His beard was frozen. Damn. I'm glad we don't live in Erie, babe. Jesus. Well, of course, I mean, it's named it for being right on the lake, so have fun with that lake and lake effect snow there, Papa Josh. Yeah, neither have I, Griff. And that used to be, Michigan used to get racked. These last few winters have actually been mild. Like, I remember every year as a kid, we're, you know, like 10 inches of snow for months. And I loved it. And then I got old enough to start driving in it. And now it's pretty much been fuck snow since then. No, I'm not going to pre-hate on Skeleton Crew. But I got to talk about Skeleton Crew. Because Jude Law made some comments. So we're going to talk about them. Just a little bit. Not a whole lot. I mean, as much as we all want, obviously. So we'll see. But yeah, we're going to chat about him a little bit. So, this comes from Charles Murphy, Murphy's Multiverse. We all know Charles. He's been in the game for fucking ever. The man knows what he's talking about, both in terms of criticism and news. So, no, Your Honor, snow is magical. It magically puts you in ditches and into other cars way too fucking often. It says Goonies in space. I don't have kids. I have no incentive to watch that. I mean, that's totally fair, dude. That is totally fair. And that's definitely probably going to be a factor when it comes to the viewing numbers for that show. Griff says Chicago had some hard winters when I was growing up. Oh, definitely. Right on Lake Michigan? Shit, yeah. Luckily, North Carolina doesn't get weather like that often. No. But when it does, if you're from the Midwest where it snows like we are, and you think you can go rent a movie, and you're literally the only one on the road because the entire fucking town shut down, that was a little weird when that happened to me. I stayed in Burlington for a hot minute. But what up, Jay? You got here just in time. We're going to talk about Skeleton Crew a little. So, what up, and I guess see you in a while. It says, I also have no interest in Mando and Grogu, which is a kid's movie. No, it's based off the show. That's not going to be that much of a kid's movie. As long as they do it, as long as they write it like they wrote the first 2 seasons, not season 3. That's a big, that's a thing. Andor season 2, at least the production design was interesting. I'm actually looking forward to Andor season 2. They have to do a lot more in the same amount of time as they did in season 1, so I imagine the pacing is going to be a bit quicker. Maybe that's Star Wars for adults my age. I don't know. I mean, it could be. Personally, and this probably has to do why I'm such a big nerd when it comes to this stuff. My inner child is strong. I saw that. I fucking saw that. I love you. But yeah. Sorry, my wife did like the perfect eye roll when I said that, so it was awesome. But I mean, yeah. I mean, if your inner child is much more in check than mine, I can definitely imagine that Skeleton Crew has no appeal for you at all. Now, it barely has any appeal for me, not because it's kid-centered, but just because it looks like more of the same fucking goobly glob crap that we've been getting. Yes, I'm married. The fuck you putting it like that for? Damn right you misjudged me, motherfucker. What the hell? Yeah, I'm dropping the Your Honor for a while. The fuck, man? Now you got to explain yourself. You've misjudged me. Time to retire from the bench. Rob says, I can vouch for the married part. I was there. Yes, you were. And we all appreciate that. You the fucking man, bruh. No, you didn't offend me. That is another similarity I share with Josh. I just like pop off, and I'm 98% of the time joking. Like, you'll know when I'm serious. So, no, you didn't offend me. It's kind of funny. But you still need to explain yourself. Sir. Oh, I just seem so content with the nerd life and my job. I mean, I love my nerd life, and now I finally have a job I love too, so yeah. But, the key to my contentment is a few feet that away. So, yeah. All right. Let's get into this and get the fuck back out of it. So, again, from Murphy's Multiverse, and Charles Murphy is solid as fuck. Oh, shit, Jared, I didn't see you get in here. My bad, man. How you doing? I missed it when I was scanning chat. My apologies. Maddie says, I watched the OT, and that is my jam. I mean, yeah. Then again, it's years since I watched the originals, not the special editions. See, yeah, that's all that's out there now. Unless you already owned the original cuts, there's no fucking way to get them. Unless you want to pay some exorbitant price on, eBay or something. Which sucks, but yeah. You don't do the yearly rewatch anymore. Even the prequel saw for the first time in years. What the fuck? Get out of Yeah, it's pretty all right now, Jared. Thank you very much. Yeah. All right. God damn it. I'm going to ignore you guys for just a bit so I can read this fucking article. So, Jude Law teases a glorious ending to Skeleton Crew. Lucasfilm's upcoming Star Wars streaming series, Skeleton Crew, sets out to do something that's rarely been done in nearly 50 years of storytelling set in a galaxy far, far away. Chronicle an adventure from the perspective of a child. Outside of the exploration of Anakin Skywalker's youth in Star Wars Episode 1 The Phantom Menace, live-action Star Wars projects have always been about adults. I would say a fair chunk of Clone Wars is from Ahsoka's perspective, in some fashion or another. But yes, given that the creator has said that he developed Star Wars for kids, it's especially strange that more projects haven't featured them. A quote from the creator himself. It was supposed to be a kids' movie for 12-year-olds that were going through puberty, who don't know what they're doing and are asking all the big questions. What should I be worried about? What's important in life? And Star Wars has all those things in there. They're buried in there, but you definitely get it, especially if you're young. Speaking of which, this philosophy, just real quick, side note, still about Star Wars, is exactly what Denis Villeneuve completely overlooked when he was talking about Return of the Jedi. And the other comments he made about Star Wars. And I'm just going to leave it there. But yeah. Actually, I'm not. I lied. Yeah, so I'm totally fine. Denis, with those comments, has pretty much put himself right next to Rian Johnson in not knowing a fuck about how Star Wars is supposed to be. So there's that. All right. According to star Jude Law, a part of the charm of the 8-episode series is seeing the 4 young leads exploring that Star Wars environment. Skeleton Crew co-creators John Watts and Christopher Ford have built out a corner of the Star Wars galaxy that Star Law calls a fun place to be, as well as thrilling and very, very unique, while also honoring the projects that came before. One can only hope. And it sounds as though before the series finale hits, part of the homage to George Lucas' original work is a heavy dose of surprising revelations. Ooh. In an interview with Collider, Law teased that his character, Jadna Nawood, who the fuck came up with that name, is a bit of mystery, and one that Watts and Ford were in no hurry to unravel. In fact, according to Law, the true nature of his character isn't revealed until the penultimate episode, which he calls his favorite. All right. That's not the end of the article, but we're going to deal with that, because actually, he's got a quote. I've only seen them through once, so that's quite a hard question for me, said Law when asked by Collider which episode he enjoyed the most. I think it's episode 7 because so much comes to a head and you find out an awful lot very quickly about my character. It's not that it's all about me, but by doing that, it pushes the relationship with the kids to a whole new level, said Law of impact the reveal of his character's true identity will have. Okay. So, here's my problem with that. That feels, in terms of timing and anticipated pacing, that feels very Acolyte to me. Now, that could be just recency bias, I admit it. The steps leading to the reveal could be written at a much higher quality than they were written in the Acolyte. Completely possible. But I don't like that. That doesn't make me feel good. That doesn't give me confidence. Kind of worries me a little bit. Now again, is it possible that the build up to that big old pile of almost last minute reveals is a lot better than the way they did it in Acolyte? Yes. It's possible. Don't know how likely it is, but it's possible. But I would say, just in general, no likey. I don't like that setup. You got to do things really well for 6 episodes in order to get away with waiting till the 7th to do that shit. And right now, I have no evidence to believe that they are capable of doing so. Well, I take that back. I have very little evidence. Now, the behind-the-scenes crew, what's his bud? John Watts. He's dope. They got a bunch of good directors, Bryce Dallas Howard being one of them. I can't remember any of their other names, but they're all pretty top-notch. So they got some good people behind the scenes. But there's still those multiple reports of how the production, even with that seemingly badass staff, was not smooth. It was rife with problems, the word is. So, yeah, I'm just on paper, I'm not fond of hearing that. Set during the same New Republic time period as The Mandalorian and Ahsoka, it's still unclear just how big of an impact Skeleton Crew will have on the overarching narrative those projects share. Whether the events of the project will lead to a second season or will have a major impact on Dave Filoni's New Republic era film isn't clear at this point. However, Law is confident that fans will like what they see when the series debuts on December 2nd. They'll want more. That's what they'll say, said Law of his expectations of how fans will receive the series. They'll say, when can I get more of this? I think they'll be confounded and kind of, I hope, a little bit upset. But it's also obviously got a kind of Star Wars glorious ending to it too. But there are layers. A lot happens, and a lot is revealed. Now here's my question. Is that like a Rian Johnson hoping that like people are upset as it is his stated goal to piss off half his audience? Or is he just talking about we'll be sad over the natural or over the developments in the story in general? I wonder. I mean, obviously he's the adult lead. So, you know, it's kind of his job to glaze it. I do think it's entirely, there's a high level of possibility that we'll be confounded, but maybe not in the way he's talking about, which is a positive way of being confounded, rather than the way we've been confounded by Star Wars projects as of late, in which is, why the fuck can't they make a good show? So, we shall see what happens. Day after tomorrow, 2-episode premiere, 9 p.m. Eastern, I believe. But, yeah, on the whole, they still have yet to do anything to inspire anything above a wait and see / please God be better than the last few things I've watched kind of attitude. Yeah. So what do you guys think? Does this move the needle for you at all in either direction? Does it make you feel like, damn it, what the hell are they doing? Or maybe they got something here? What you thinking, chat? Let me know. Let's see what you were saying. Whilst I was reading. Jared says, Dune 2 is goated, but yeah, that was an L comment. Yeah. Matthew says, I guess it dates my age, but Mark Hamill as Luke Skywalker was Star Wars. I was in my 20s when the prequels came out. Hayden Skywalker. Oh, okay. Didn't grow up with him. Yeah. Let's see. I was 23 going on, or no. Prequels came out in May, right? So yeah, I would have been 23 going on 24 when Phantom Menace came out. Rob says, I choose zero expectations over anxious predictions and analysis. I mean, I'm going with zero expectations. But I also like to try and figure out what the fuck they're doing. Man says, I probably appreciate the the prequels far more now just because of what Disney has done, and I'm more mellow, though I'm not super excited to watch them for another 15 years. Yeah, well, there will definitely be a management change before then. That's for sure. Rob says the prequels got trashed back in the day. Yes, they aren't as bad as we felt back then, and they are nowhere near as good as people think they are today. That's true. That's very true. And I think a lot of the prequel love didn't really appear until after it was starting to become apparent how stupid the current regime at Lucasfilm is when it comes to giving us Star Wars. Yeah. Obviously, a lot of people already loved the originals, and then the prequels came out, and they were like, what the fuck is George doing? And now we have this new version of Lucasfilm owned by Disney, and now even more people are going, what the fuck is Kathleen Kennedy doing? I guess George's prequels weren't that bad compared to this shit. Yeah, May 99, so yeah, I was 23 going on 24. But yeah, definitely the super high regard the prequels have today. I would say a reasonable chunk of that, probably even a majority of that sentiment, is a direct result of the repeated ass that Disney era Lucasfilm has been putting out. And it says, the Disney trilogy, I can't watch them. Tried to watch Last Jedi again. Couldn't do it. Force Awakens on TV bored me at my mom's house. I watched Rise of Palpatine once. I actually forced myself through those, I think, sometime last year. Just to see, because I hadn't watched them in quite some time. Or maybe it was just Force Awakens. No, I take that back. It was just Force Awakens. I was going to try. I'm like, okay, I'm going to give them another shot. You know, maybe I've been too long in a negative echo chamber. You know, maybe I've been too harsh on them. So I watched The Force Awakens. And I finished the movie. And I turned it off. And I decided right then and there, I was dead fucking right the first time. I don't know what the hell they were doing. Megan says, I wanted to get an idea of what Ryan was doing with the commentary, but received no elucidation. I like that word. He just can't explain his process, and he's confusing the movie, made even less sense with commentary. Yeah, he's, when you hire creatives, you want them to be, you know, to have, you definitely want your creatives to have a sense of artistry, an ability to give a project, you know, depth and heart and emotion and all that kind of shit. Now, you want that. But when you are a creative working for a large IP with a shit ton of established lore, regardless of whether you turned it into Legends or not, it's still fucking established lore. You need to rein that shit in. You need to figure out how to weave your artistry in a respectful manner to all that has been established, in the case of Star Wars, for 4 decades. When you're doing it. That's just the way it works when you're writing for a large IP. If you want full creativity, Go write a movie for A24 or regular ass Sony or regular ass Warner Brothers. You know, you can't go crazy like that in an established IP. Or you get what we have now. It's just it's just the way it is. Rob says, we watched the OG trilogy last night. I swear Wicket and Jar Jar did the same stupid stuff, physical humor in both movies. I mean, that would not surprise me. The biggest difference is Ewoks are cute and Jar Jar's annoying as shit. Like, you can get away with more stuff if cuddly little teddy bears are doing it than if a big old gangly, high-pitched voiced, weird-ass looking amphibian thing's doing it. I mean, the Ewoks weren't even trying to speak basic. Yep, yep. Oh, yep, yep. You know, that's all we got out of them. Jar Jar's just different from the Ewoks. Jared says the sequels are definitely better than the newer shows. I'll give you some parts of them are, yes. At least they feel pretty Star Wars, look and sound incredible. Yeah, that is one thing I cannot shit on the sequels for, is the sound and the visuals. That's dead ass. They did get that part right. So, credit where credit's due. Sound and the visuals were dope. And I think, honestly, that's what got me through seeing them in the theater before I realized what the fuck they did. Jared continues, and I do like The Force Awakens personally, especially the first hour-ish. I mean, yeah, the first part is less believable than, like, say, the third act. I know it's kind of weird talking about believability when we're talking about science fantasy, but I mean, I don't care what kind of fantastical shit you're doing, there still has to be some level of believability to it. You know, there's a minimum amount you need. Especially if you're operating within an IP with a crap ton of lore behind it. You know, there's only so much you can fuck around with. It's just, there's it. There's only so much you can do. So, Matthew says, he said something like he wanted, we're back, Ryan Johnson, like he wanted Mark to throw the lightsaber and walk a certain way, like, I don't care. Why is that part of the story? I was, what the fuck? From a creative point of view, I can understand why he wanted to micromanage some portions of what people were doing. In order to further service what he was trying to do with the story and trying to say with the story. I mean, the way he did Luke Skywalker in that movie, he specifically wanted Mark to do that to show his disdain for the Jedi in general and, himself specifically. So, that's why I imagine he did stuff like that and talked about why he did stuff, and talked about doing stuff like that. Rob says, people are going to love the first Star Wars they see. I mean, that is fact. Beyond that, the Disney movies have been badly written with more plot twists than a bad M. Night movie. Also true. Very true. And the youngsters that have seen the sequels and like the sequels, like Maya, definitely aren't going to catch all that shit. Like, obviously, I didn't catch all the lame shit that the original trilogy admittedly has when I was a kid. You know, I didn't catch the inconsistencies or any of that. So yeah, that totally makes sense. And he says, I'm not saying there aren't enjoyable scenes. Oh, there are parts that are good. I like the bit where Luke winked at 3PO, R2, and Luke on the Falcon. Mark and Carrie and the astral projection was cool. The epic cinematography, yes. I can agree with all of that. Justin says, there's no heart in the things coming out of Star Wars at all, except for Ahsoka. Yeah? All the creative people that work at Star Wars, besides Dave, get the terrible shows to work on. Yeah, but if they were better at their jobs, the shows wouldn't be that terrible. In my opinion. Rob says, they should have let Ben Solo be the big bad and Rey be a Solo as well. Twins at birth thing. Bring synergy to the lore in. Then whomever wins in the final battle between Rey and Ben, it is epic. Yeah. And how sad is it that, like, all of us can come up with better shit than what we got that easily? That's literally the worst part about everything that's been going on with Lucasfilm, is we're all just your basic nerds sitting here talking on the fucking internet, and we are coming up quickly with better ideas, better stories, all of it. It's goddamn ridiculous. Justin says, Bryce Dallas absolutely loves Star Wars, but they have her on shit like Skeleton Crew. Yep, this company is dog shit, and it started with The Force Awakens. What the fuck was that? Don't you even start with me. But in terms of, like, their global reach and money-making ability when it comes to, like, parks and merch and stuff like that, yeah, they ain't going broke anytime soon. Xavier just says, I hope I have a daughter in the future. Yeah. Matthew says, Luke never trained Rey, though. Big mistake. And I didn't like it's time for the Jedi to end, but I do like the rebellion is reborn today speech. Yeah. Rob says, oh, wait, they did that in a book already. Yeah. So, yeah. Coming back to the Skeleton Crew. While there has been little to nothing to move the needle in a positive direction for me, and unfortunately there's been a couple, 3 things to move it in a negative direction, I am firmly placing myself into try and forget everything that's come before it and just see it for what it is on its own. And evaluate from there. Yeah, those were good Mando episodes she did too, Jay. At least the ones I'm for sure she directed and remember. Okay, cool. The Daniels did an episode, right? The Everything Everywhere All at Once guys. Well, yeah, that's an Oscar-winning movie. They have talent. They have talent. All right, you ready to be done with Star Wars? Because I am. We've done our duty. We've talked about the show that starts day after tomorrow. Time to move on. Story number 2. New details on why Young Avengers is now champions. More on Daredevil, Hawkeye Season 2 and Nova. So, in case you hadn't heard early this week, the Young Event, what had been talked about as, previously talked about, I should say, as a project, we were supposed to get a Young Avengers cinematic feature at some point. Now, you've heard me talk about this before, and you know that I have not been a fan of that idea whatsoever. No one gives two shits about the Young Avengers right now. Even if they're fans of the Young Avengers from comics, they haven't had their own title in over a decade. They're cool characters. People like them, but they are supporting characters. Excuse me. So, when it was seeming like they were going to make a movie featuring these characters, I was in firm what the fuck mode. But now, we got news earlier this week that Young Avengers is not only going to be a Disney Plus show, which is definitely the place for a Young Avengers project, but that it is no longer going to be called Young Avengers and will be called Champions. And now we have potential news on why that change was made. So let's see. This comes from comicbookmovie.com. As we first reported yesterday evening, Marvel Studios has reportedly given up on producing a Young Avengers movie and will instead focus on bringing the Champions to Disney+. Unfortunately, the moment for the Young Avengers to assemble has arguably passed. I don't know if it's unfortunate, but that is true. We've been saying for the past few years that these characters are aging up quickly, while the clear lack of focus in the Multiverse Saga's early stages did little to get them where they needed to be for a team-up. That's true for more than just them. Daniel... Oh, you fucking thing. Get off of there. Daniel Rickman is today reporting that the reason for the Champions rebrand is indeed because many of the actors are no longer, well, young. The comic book version of the Young Avengers are all teens. The search for a showrunner has begun, and the main reason we're getting a movie instead of a TV show is supposedly down to the Marvels underperforming at the box office last year. The Marvels underperforming was definitely more of a general statement on Marvel than a statement on how bad that movie was. Because while it was not good, it was not garbage. It was not overly goobly glob. It actually had some cool moments, most of them at the very end. But yeah, overall, it still wasn't a good movie. It should not have bombed as hard as it did, but it's still not that good a movie. It seems Ms. Marvel wasn't the draw Marvel Studios expected. The TV show, yeah, that didn't do that well either. Surely leaving them to conclude that a streaming audience isn't necessarily going to follow these heroes into theaters without a good enough reason. Facts. Disney CEO Bob Iger has also discussed the importance of protecting the Avengers brand, and a Young Avengers spin-off underperforming would risk tarnishing the main event movies, which are guaranteed moneymakers, of course. The Scooper has dropped a few other minor updates, including the fact Marvel Television is searching for a female actor to play a mayoral candidate in Daredevil Born Again Season 2. We're not sure what that means for Wilson Fisk. Well, it means he's going to have to run for mayor again at least. Hey, Ned, what's going on, man? Let's see. Yeah. Hawkeye Season 2 is expected to begin shooting next fall for 2026-2027 release on Disney+. And Nova isn't being lined up to start production until around the same time, or perhaps even early 2026. The Champions and the Marvels set the stage for Ms. Marvel, Hawkeye, and Cassie Lang, and when they say Hawkeye, they mean Kate Bishop, to be among the team's first members. Earlier this year, Catherine Newton shared her excitement over the possibility of suiting up for a future meeting between the second generation of superheroes. I don't fucking care. what Catherine Newton has to say because her performance of Cassie Lang was poop. So, guys, chat, nerds, what do you think? A. Numeral A. Do you agree with the article and myself that changing the Young Avengers, before we even worry about name changes, but just changing the Young Avengers project from a movie to a TV show was a good idea? What say you, chat? Yay or nay? And if you wish to expound upon why, I'm definitely curious to read it. Do you enjoy The Gladiator 2, Brooke? And also, what up? See what chat's been saying. I'll catch up on you guys, and maybe you'll have some more for me to read in a minute. Man, it says the Daniels did an episode right. Oh yeah, I read that one. Matthew also said, in John Watts, Mr. Spider-Man trilogy director of the newest iteration. Yeah, I mean, he does good work, and he co-created this show. So, like I said, behind the scenes people, they seems to be pretty strong. Justin says, she's awesome. I assuming we're still talking about Bryce Dallas. Every time you see her talk Star Wars, you can feel how much she loves it. Facts. And also, cake. Maddie says, Ron Howard was one of my favorite directors, but then he started making garbage movies. Solo is a blight on his resume, but not nearly as Dial of Destiny is on Mangold. Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know how much Solo is his fault, considering he got brought in at literally the absolute last minute and essentially remade the movie. I mean, there's only so much you can do when you're starting from scratch from a movie that's already been 90% put on film, 98% put on film. If I recall correctly, they only had 2 weeks left to shoot when Kathy finally got tired of the way Lord and Miller folded their socks and fired them. And then they brought in Tony Gilroy. They brought in on Rogue One to take over from Gareth Edwards. But yeah, so they brought Ron in to try and Tony Gilroy solo, and it just didn't work out anywhere near as well as it did for Rogue One. So, it was a pretty good film, Brooke says. Nice. Maddie says, I think Indiana Jones has destroyed Mangold. I have no faith in Dawn of the Jedi, nor any intention to give it a chance. It would take something drastic like good word of mouth to change my mind. I mean, yeah, I can't blame you. Anyone that's paying attention should their faith in Mangold should be shaken. That is for sure. Matthew continues, and the Rey movie is shaping up to be another Indiana Jones 5 with all the different scripts. I even heard a rumor Larry Kasdan is being asked to take a stab at the script, but it's not on IMDb. Yeah, I heard that about Mr. Kasdan as well, and that amounts to a whole lot of not much. Although we do know at this point that the Rey movie, and I'm sure you're talking about the first one we heard about, directed by Ms. Obaid Chinoy, who should not be directing this movie because she's never directed a cinematic feature before, and you don't fucking start a rookie on Star Wars. But that movie does have a new writer. Snyder has told us, and a couple other people have confirmed it. But who it is has still not made it out into the public somehow. So we will see. Kevin, what's going on? Thanks for coming in. Says people will give Young Avengers a chance on Disney Plus as a streaming show. Yeah, I'm definitely much more willing to watch that on Disney Plus than I ever would have been to watch it in the theater. Brooke says, wait, what's up with Cillian Murphy being in Fantastic Four? Oh, dude, that's the big story. We're saving that till last. sit back, relax, let your popcorn digest from the movie theater, and we'll get there. Brooke says, I liked it, but want to rewatch the first Gladiator movie later at some point. Yeah, for sure. Matthew says, Young Avengers should be a show. At best, maybe. Oh, definitely. Oh, you've been sick, bro? I hope you're doing better. Ned? Kevin says, with the success of Moana 2, Disney Animation Studios is going to play safe, put out sequels Zootopia 2, Frozen 3 and 4 in the theaters. Oh, definitely. I think those are all already, they've all already definitely been talked about. I'm pretty sure I have no idea when they're actually starting production on any of those. But I would imagine all of them are in somewhat of the beginning stages at this point. Matthew says, personally, I would integrate those characters into the new Avengers movies and cancel any Young Avengers film or show. I mean, that's how I would introduce them, personally. I mean, we've already got a couple, but we've already got America Chavez. She's definitely going to be in there. I mean, she has to be. She's like ridiculously important, especially when it comes to multiverse things, because she's the only version of her in the multiverse, number one. She has no variants. Number two, she is the only being in the multiverse that does not need technology or magic to travel the multiverse, which is probably why she also doesn't, which are probably the two biggest reasons why she also doesn't cause incursions. There's one of the big reasons there are incursions is because you're combining the essence of, like in the case of Multiverse of Madness, you had the Doctor Strange from one universe in the wrong universe. So that starts to draw one universe towards the other. America Chavez, there's only one of her. She can't cause an incursion just by being in a universe. Nor can she cause an incursion by using technology or magic to traverse the multiverse, both of which could have residual effects that start to draw universes together towards an incursion. Yeah. So, yeah, she should be in it. Kate Bishop should be in it. Ms. Marvel should be in it. Because whether you like the show or not, or the movie, Iman Vellani on her own is fucking awesome. And whether you liked the Disney Plus Hawkeye show, Haley Steinfeld, soon to be Mrs. Josh Allen, is also awesome as Kate Bishop. And I enjoyed America Chavez. I cannot remember her actual name, and other than the fact I know it's difficult as fuck to pronounce. But yeah, regardless, those are like, I think personally, I think that was the biggest fuck up with Phase 4. It was them trying to introduce these B-level characters on their own instead of integrating them into bigger projects. Now, anytime I bring that point up, there are so many, or anyone brings that point up, all the Guardians stands come out, but look at Guardians of the Galaxy. Yeah, and the fact that it was only Guardians worked tells you this. Guardians was an anomaly. They're the exception, not the rule. If you want to introduce new characters, especially if they're not like the top tier, you damn well better introduce them in a project that is much bigger than them. Know what I'm saying? No, I have not watched your fanfic yet. I will probably watch it after stream. Executive Judge says, I think the plan is for the kids to have a subplot in Avengers Doomsday and then go to have their own solo project on Disney+. Yeah. We are going to see, I am 99% sure, we are going to see the Children's Crusade play out in Doomsday as a subplot. At which point I think they'll probably introduce a couple more of the Young Avengers. I feel like we will probably get Hulkling by the time the multiverse saga is over. And if we don't get him in a movie, I'm 99% positive that we're going to get him in Champions. For a couple of reasons. One, Hulkling just in general is popular. Two, Hulkling and Billy as a couple are really fucking popular. They're like... No, I've never really read any Young Avengers projects, comics, but from what I've gathered from much more knowledgeable people, those two are basically the heart of the team. So, yeah. But yeah, if they put together the team well and don't overload it, I think the show's actually got a chance, especially if it comes out between Doomsday. Well, it's going to have to come out between Doomsday and Secret Wars. So yeah, if they set them up reasonably well in Doomsday, that will help that show out a lot. I mean, just the way they... Granted, a lot of people thought America Chavez's intro was iffy. I thought it was good, but a lot of people thought it was iffy. Obviously, the Hawkeye show and Ms. Marvel weren't like uber popular. Although Kate Bishop and Kamala Khan's characters individually were reasonably well received. Excuse me. So, and then of course, Billy came off like gangbusters. Everyone fucking loves him after Agatha. So, for me, I think they should build a team of 6, the same size as the OG Avengers, which would give you, obviously, Ms. Marvel, because she's the one with the pad. Kate Bishop, because she's the first one they recruited, or she recruited. America Chavez, again, just because she's ridiculously important to the multiverse and that age. Billy Maximoff now. Hulkling. And then they only need one more. Who should that be? I do not want Cassie Lang. I'm sorry. The chick that acted her in fucking Quantumania was not good. Oh, actually, you know what? That problem solved. I'm such a dumbass. Part of Children's Crusade is going to be finding Billy's brother Tommy. So here's how I would construct the team. Ms. Marvel, America Chavez, Kate Bishop Hawkeye, Billy, Tommy, Hulkling. Done. That's who I would put on the team. Now, is that the way Marvel's going to do it? No, because they've got other characters out there that I know they're going to want to fucking include. Like Jared just said, probably Ironheart. Now, if that show turns out to actually be good, I could change my mind. But as of now, I'm good without Ironheart on the Champions. Kevin says Lucasfilm will have a comeback in theaters. Outside of the possibility of Mando and Grogu with what they have planned now, I am forced to highly disagree, Kevin. They literally have 6 Rey movies in the works, along with Dave's movie and the Mando and Grogu movie. So I have zero confidence in Lucasfilm. Even if they temporarily achieve a comeback with Mando and Grogu, there is, in my mind, zero chance that they can sustain what little comeback that Mando and Grogu may even give them. Matthew says, the biggest question to me, and I'm interested in Captain America, is Captain America going to flop? And how well will Fantastic Four do? Because I generally want to see these films, and I had no interest in the beginning. How well Brave New World does is going to depend entirely on word of mouth. Because at least in the nerd community, it does not, other than like massive Marvel glazers, it doesn't appear that there's a whole lot of confidence going around in this movie. So it's going to need word of mouth in order to do even reasonably well. Now, in terms of will it be a financial success for Marvel and Disney? No. As much of... Now, the official numbers are not out. But with all the reshoots they've done, plus the original production, even without marketing, there's no way they have spent at this point less than $300 million. And I feel like it would be a safe bet to say it's probably cracked 350 and is working its way up to 4 at this point. So, for the sake of argument, let's say it is they're at 350 now, and they're still going to be reshooting up till the end of January, just so you know. But let's say it's 350. In order to just break even, that movie would then have to make $825 million. If they've spent $350 on it to break even, they need to make $825. I don't know that this movie is going to crack $650 or $7. Like, forget what they spent just in terms of a gross. With the reputation of this movie has currently, that's a success. Like, honestly, $600 to $700 million for what this movie looks like it's going to be right now would be really good. I mean, even if they've only spent $300 million, you're still going to need $750 to break even. I don't know that they're going to get that. It would take word of mouth like you've never seen before for that movie to do even reasonably well. It's not going to make money for Disney. I'll tell you that right now. Okay. The odds are severely stacked against that movie actually turning a profit for Marvel and Disney. But could it do decently? Yes. Will that level of success rely basically on word of mouth? Yes. Now, as for Fantastic Four, I feel like that could be a $1 billion movie. Could be. I'm not betting on it. I am very positive thinking that will be probably right around Multiverse of Madness levels. 900 mil, maybe, maybe tickling the heel of $1 billion. But I would say it has probably, at this point, just spitballing, I don't know, probably 45% chance of making $1 billion. And the tracking numbers obviously will not come out till, next year. So when those start to come out, we're going to have a much better idea. Like if that movie starts tracking around like what Wicked was tracking and Moana 2 is tracking, it's going to fucking pop off. But yeah, I feel like that's easily an $800 million movie and has a reasonably decent shot of cracking $1 billion. Fantastic Four does. And I think Thunderbolts is probably going to do 7 to 8 as well. And they didn't spend anywhere near as much on that as they did Brave New World. That movie should be a moneymaker. They should definitely turn a profit on that one. Executive Judge says, I really hope Cap 4 doesn't flop. That's the best franchise in the MCU next to Avengers, and it'd break my heart if it did. I mean, you're dead ass. I agree with you on that one. The Captain America trilogy is the overall top trilogy in the entire MCU for me. Now, granted, that's mostly, that's mostly on the strength of Winter Soldier and Civil War. However, I have a much higher opinion of the first Avenger, I think, than a reasonably sized group of people do. A lot of people think that movie was mid. I thoroughly disagree, but even if you count that movie as mid, once you add in Winter Soldier and Civil War, it's still the overall best trilogy that exists in the MCU right now. For sure. Executive Judge also says, I just can't think how Fury let Kamala keep the saber tablet. I don't think he let her do anything. I think she ganked that motherfucker. I don't think there was any let to it at all. I think she just snagged that thing and jetted. Oops. There we go. Kevin says, I noticed people rooting for Captain America Brave New World to fail at the box office. Anthony Mackie doesn't deserve that at all. No, you're correct. I think a lot of the people that are rooting for that to fail, don't like, for whatever reason, some probably technical, some because, they're those people, want that movie to fail. I don't want it to fail. I'm ready for like a full-on fucking comeback for the MCU. And if it's going to start anywhere, that's where it's... well, if it could start anywhere, that's where I would pick. I want to start 2025 off fucking strong in the theater. But, you're right. Mackie doesn't deserve that at all. It is not his fault that they have not set that character up very well at all. It's kind of a shame, actually. Because I like Mackie. He's out there. He says some very strange shit in interviews. See Loving the Booty Scooty Teen Titans episode. But, was it Teen Titans? I don't know. But yeah, as an actor, he does not deserve that hate. So, yeah. I agree with you as far as that goes. Jerry says, all I heard there was Kate Bishop. I don't blame you. But, people are now competing with a top-tier NFL quarterback. So, good fucking luck. Especially you, Shamik Moore. That dude, I don't know if y'all have seen it, but that dude is getting crapped on hard on the internet for his little tweet after Steinfeld announced the engagement. If you don't know what I'm talking about, just Google it. It's fucking hilarious. Fury's a big softie deep down for kids. Oh, like I said, I'm pretty sure she stole it. Like, honestly, I'm pretty sure she stole it. Manny says, movies in general I want to do well and be good in general for the industry and for people to have some genuine fan fun and escapism / engagement. COVID and those strikes plus streaming killed movies. I don't know about killed. No Way Home came out like right at the end of the pandy, and that cracked $1 billion. So movies aren't dead. It's just due to COVID and the strikes, people are now, and of course the economy for most of us, people are just a fuck ton more choosy about when they go to the movies and what they see when they go there. If they don't think they're going to like it, they're not going to fucking go. Like, people are taking way less chances in general on movies these days. Period. Executive Judge says, how are they going to focus on searching for Tommy while everyone's busying themselves with Doom? That's what Vision Quest is for. What's up, Travis? Actually, I did have a pretty good holiday. Food was good. Family was good. Lions won. All good. But yeah, no, Tommy will be found and part of the group before Doomsday, for sure. But we know those movies won't get made. I mean, yeah. And he says, I want DC to do well. Hell, I want a good Superman movie. And I want to enjoy a Star Trek and a Star Wars film, but I have no faith whatsoever in Kathy, and that breaks my heart. I mean, yeah. I would love DC to do well. I want a good goddamn Superman movie. Like, I'm ready. And I want, like, I love Superman. I know a lot of people these days think he's played out and OP and so powerful it's hard to tell a good story with him anymore. To a point that might be true, but like there's a lot of more personal things you can do with a Superman story. You don't necessarily have to go as far with it as Snyder did, although I personally didn't mind. But there's more to play with Superman than a lot of people like to think. But yeah, I want Gunn to succeed. I want a good Superman movie. I want a good Supergirl movie. I want a good Lantern show. I want a good Batman movie whenever he finally fucking gets around to making it. Like, and on top of that, if DC is kicking ass, that'll keep Marvel from ever getting Phase 4 lazy again. You know? So yeah, a good DC, it's good for more than just DC. That's good for all of us. Executive Judge says, I don't think it'll bomb, but I don't think it'll be terrible either. You mean good? Maybe, possibly. He says, look at her credits. Back to the Future, Robert Rabbit, Indiana Jones Trilogy, Jurassic Park, E.T., The Extraterrestrial. How can it be the same person? Simple. She was riding the coattails of Lucas and Spielberg. She was a helper. She wasn't in charge. That's how it's the same person. Because it never was really her, even back then. It was Spielberg. It was Lucas. She succeeded by association. So, yeah, that's why her early resume looks that good, is because none of it was really hers. Also produced the excellent dose for the Studio Ghibli movies. Yeah. I mean, she is the head of the studio. She's going to be on as an executive producer on everything, no matter if she just signs permission and never does anything with it again or not. So, there's that. Executive Director says the Brave New World trailer was actually really good, so let's hope the actual film is up to the hype. Yeah. Travis says the lingering thread I want to see picked up is Harley Keener from Iron Man 3. Tony left him a bunch of technology before he left. Either Armor Wars or even the Vision Quest series could work. To bring Harley back in, that would probably be Armor Wars. Vision Quest is not going to be dealing with that stuff a whole lot, I don't think. I mean, it will be some because the government now controls Stark Tech. And, of course, Vision, well, now White Vision is what they got. But, yeah, I think any carryover from Iron Man 3 would be dealt with in Armor Wars or some other project like that rather than Vision Quest. Vision Quest is going to be concentrating mostly on Vision himself and looking for Tommy as a B-plot, I think. What the fuck? There we go. Travis also says, I think while more obscured by time, I think the relationship between Harley and Tony is more of an attachment to the original MCU than any of the new characters. Yeah. Though I have some grave doubts about Simon Kinberg running both Star Wars and Star Trek. Yeah. He wouldn't be the first, though. Brooke says, I hope Cat 4 can make $700 million at least. I mean, that would be good. Ned says, first Avengers was awesome. Yeah, I agree. And so does Brooke. Maggie says, because he's an unknown, if it was JJ, I would wait and see. Kurtzman, I would say hell no to running Star Trek films. Oh, yeah, if you're in the Star Trek world at all, even tangentially, you should be very, very sick of one Alex Kurtzman. And you should be very happy with Terry Matalas for taking over and doing Picard Season 3. And by the way, Terry Matalas is the showrunner for Vision Quest. So there's that. Jared says there are a few damn good trilogies in the MCU. Winter Soldier and Civil War, both top 5 MCU. Winter Soldier, Infinity War, Iron Man 1. Yeah, I'd agree with that. Executive Judge says, I felt betrayed when he said he liked a Teen Titans Go episode. I'm trying to like you, Mackie. Oh, okay, so I was almost right. It was Teen Titans Go, Booty Scooty. Jared says, like, Josh Allen has the time to treat her right. Give me a break. Well, I mean, she's an in-demand actress. They're both going to be busy. Executive Judge says, I'm sure Shamik's tweet was just a coincidence. Well, people have been throwing up all kinds of videos where he's, like, totally in Mac mode when it came to Haley Steinfeld, too. It's funny. Theaters were packed when I went to see Gladiator 2 today, says Brooke. Yeah, exactly. Because Gladiator has cachet. Ridley Scott still has a little bit of cachet. Denzel's in it. You know, there's stuff. There's stuff in that movie to draw a crowd for sure. And he says the new season of Superman and Lois is fantastic. Go out on a high. Tyler is a good Superman. I have heard that. I need to go back and watch that show. I've heard many things. Travis says, I'm in the minority who doesn't like Winter Soldier. Okay. But Civil War alone is probably one of the top 5 MCU films for me. Cool. Executive Judge, is the Vision Quest showrunner terrible? No. The Vision Quest showrunner is the one that saved Picard. He good. Jared says, Deadpool, Guardian, Spider-Man, all very good. Cap, of course. Yes. Definitely. Definitely. But yeah, you are definitely in a minority. All right, Travis. You're in a smaller minority than Ray fans. Just so you know. All right. Anything more on Young Avengers / Champions or anything tangential? Chat. Sweet. Nope. Do that. There we go. What say you, chat? Further thoughts, questions, concerns, speculation, yada, yada, yada. Okay. Cool. So, we have reached that point, chat and lurkers, and those of you on the replay, where I need to get some more drinky, get rid of some pee-pee, and then come back. Because when I come back, it's on to the big story. We might have some Cillian Murphy in the Fantastic Four, y'all. Oh, real quick. Travis says, speaking of Denzel, my crazy idea was if he's reprising his role as Malcolm X in Black Panther 3. T'Chaka met him in the comics, so if done well, I think it'd be cool. I mean, that's an idea. That's a cool idea. I don't really see that happening, but that'd be sweet. That would actually be kind of sweet. This is just my own opinion. There's literally no rumors or anything out there to back this up, but I feel like he's going to be a villain. I feel like he's going to be a villain. Brooke says, oh yeah, I did hear rumors about Pattinson in the MCU. Wouldn't be opposed to him playing the role as a Beyonder in the MCU. It could be interesting. Jared says, Cillian Murphy as Doom or bust. We'll see. We'll see. Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, that was... Now that Brooke brought it up, and thank you, Brooke, for that reminder. Before I take my break, we'll address this one a little, just real quickly. There were a report. I believe it came from my time, so... But there was a report that Robert Pattinson, at some point in time, had met with Feige about a potential role in the MCU. Now, there's a couple different things about this. One, I'm not the biggest Pattinson fan, but there are definitely roles he would fit. And two, I just think it'd be hilarious if Feige racked up yet another gangster move and pimp slap gun and stole his fucking Batman. Or at least stole a Batman. Or borrowed. Now, honestly, I really don't think that's going to happen, especially since Pattinson is still committed for 2 more Batman movies. But I'd be I just think it would be hilarious as shit, honestly. I don't know who I would want him to play, like off the top of my head. But I know if I, thought about it for a while, maybe, did a little research, I could find him a role that'd be fun for him. Or fun for us to watch him in, I should say. I don't care if it's fun for him. But, I just think that'd be hilarious as shit, honestly. I don't think it's going to happen, but it'd be funny. Matthew says, I'm honestly shocked. After seeing him in that Nolan James Bond knockoff, he wasn't approached to play 007, and I don't stand Twilight Batman. Yeah. Yeah, I like the movie. Like, I liked the movie itself more than I did on the rewatch than I did the first time I saw it. Like, the movie itself went up in my like list. But that's the movie overall. Reeves / Pattinson's take on Bruce Wayne. Not that good. Travis says, I'd go with Guardians as the best overall trilogy. Iron Man, great. And 3 is one of the best comic book films ever made for me. But Iron Man 2 is a demon in a butthole. See, Iron Man 3 is the worst one of the trilogy for me personally. Guardians is decent. I don't dislike Guardians 2 as much as a lot of people seem to. But even when you throw all those movies together, they don't, at least for me, they don't even equal Winter Soldier, much less the combination of Winter Soldier and Civil War. And he says, Gunn is solid. None of those cracked $1 billion, but they also made a good amount of money. Oh, yeah, no. Gunn is definitely one of the more successful writers and creators for the MCU. That cannot be argued. Excuse me. However, he was not left totally on his own, the way he has been over at Warner Brothers. And the way he even more now will be that he runs the fucking DC studio. So. Jared says, I like Iron Man 2, to be honest. Yeah, me too. Brooke loved the Iron Man 3 trailer. I don't even remember the fucking Iron Man 3 trailer. Honestly. What's up, Noah? What's the TLDR? The TLDR is there's still no reason to be excited about Skeleton Crew. Changing the Young Avengers to Champions and putting it on Disney Plus is probably the best way they could handle that, outside of not giving them their own shit at all and just introducing them in bigger projects. And it would be hilarious if Feige actually poached Pattinson. Yep, that's the TLDR for now. Oh, and Kathy still sucks. That too. All right. Wow, that dropped quickly. That's annoying. Oh, well. Okay. So I'm going to take my little breaky break. And then when I come back, rumors and speculation about Fantastic Four, Cillian Murphy, and Doctor Doom. Just real quick, Magic says, I'm not really a fan of Chris. I assume you mean Pratt. I don't like him in Guardians. Guess he was okay, but forgettable in Jurassic. I never watched him in the Jurassic World movies, honestly. Good in Lego Animated. Don't accept him as Mario or Garfield. I mean, that's all fair. A lot of people were not fans of his being cast as Mario or Garfield. Didn't really show in what Mario made at the box office, but Garfield was not a banger, if I recall correctly. So, okay. Chat, lurkers, and replayers. Bear with me for a couple minutes. Oh, you put the Iron Man 3 trailer in the Discord? Thanks, man. I shall have to check that out later to see what the hell you're talking about. But, yes, chat, lurkers, and those on the replay. I must beg your indulgence for a couple minutes to refresh my beverage. And make a little more room for it. So, I'll be back in just a couple. Please don't leave. And we're back. We are back. Let me see here. Get caught up with chat, and then we will get into the goods. Let's see here. Do 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 do. No, it says I'll take some Cillian Doom variant. Travis says what's tough is that the idea of a trilogy is almost non-existent in today's age, especially with comic book films. They're trilogies until they make a fourth one, and even so, they don't stand alone. Yeah, that's true. Although if you're at least now with the idea of the MCU and the whole shared universe, it's kind of impossible for a trilogy to stand alone anymore. At least, you know, within a large IP like that. You know, they're going to be tied into other shit. Brooke says Cillian would be great as Doom if they didn't cast RDJ as Doom. Fair. Brooke says, thinking about Iron Man 3, I felt like based on the trailer, it had the potential to be the best Iron Man film, honestly. Should we trash the place while he's gone? No. Travis says, I think I was like 11 when Iron Man 3 came out, but I think I remember the trailer having the Mandarin narrating as Stark's tech is blown up and Tony dragging his suit through the snow. I mean, yeah, that would definitely be provocative for sure. Noah says, I do remember the Iron Man 3 trailer being sick. You just unlocked that memory, Travis. Nice. It was on, Noah goes on, it was on par with the Man of Steel trailer with Zod. Same type of vibe. Yeah. David, I must be tired, Brooke. Thought you put Chillin would be a good Dr. Doom. You didn't have to laugh that hard at it, though, David. I could be a good Doom. Y'all haven't seen me in, like, fully cocky superior mode. I could totally pull off some shit like that for Doom. Do not underestimate me. Do not underestimate my power. Brooks says, if they didn't cast RDJ as Doom, my top choices would have been Murphy, John Hamm, or Mads Mikkelsen. See, people brought up John Hamm, and that's, no, not for me. That's just me, but I can't see John Hamm as Doom. I just can't. Matthew says, I really dislike that guy's movies. Hated Iron Man 3 and the Predator remake. Shane Black? Which Predator remake? There's some... Which Predator movie are you talking about, Matthew? I guess he was a decent scriptwriter if you like Lethal Weapon and cop movies. I fucking love Lethal Weapon, so yeah. Brooke just rewatched Iron Man 3 trailer and still gives him the chills. And he also says Iron Man 3 would have been perfect if they used the actual Mandarin. I mean, scatter! Yeah, I'm back. Maddie says the fake Mandarin and Tony Stark never wearing the suit. If it was advertised as Tony Stark but not Iron Man, I would have passed on it. Well, exactly why they didn't advertise it that way. Noah says, I don't know if y'all seen the Equalizer trilogy for the first time. First one last night and second one today, and holy shit, I can't wait to see him in Black Panther 3. Yeah, no, if you haven't watched the third Equalizer yet, watch it. But yeah, Denzel in the Equalizer movies is a fucking beast. Matthew says, it would be like, let's make a Batman with only Bruce Wayne. He will never use gadgets. We'll have a fake Joker. No Batman suit. Yeah, I mean, when you break it down like that, you're kind of not wrong. Like, honestly. That's not inaccurate. Brooke says, speaking of Doom news, I might try to find a deep dive versus between Dr. Doom and the Maker video to watch later. Both of these villains are just so formidable and complex. I as my like overall comic book knowledge is limited. I will say the only time I'm familiar with where those two had a shit ton of interaction on any level was Secret Wars. But again, that's just in this brain. Like, I have no idea if there's any more out there or how much. But yes, they are both very formidable and very complex villains. Rick says Equalizer films are dope, just awesome pure action. I like Denzel and Gladiator 2 as well. Yes, no, the Equalizer films are sick. I highly recommend them to anyone who has not yet watched them, for sure. That's better. Okay. You ready, chat? You ready to do a shit ton of theorizing and speculation off next to nothing? Because that is what we have on deck. Because that is what we have on deck. So, how many of you remember earlier this week when a video was posted of someone being rushed across the set with a coat over their head like they were a fucking criminal? How many of y'all remember that, chat? Do you remember? Do you remember when that video came out? And what was our first reaction? Fucking RDJ! It's got to be RDJ. I mean, that makes the most sense, right? Well. Today, a photo was dropped on the Twitters. And it came from a Fantastic Four rap party in London, of course, because they've been filming in the UK. And this is what it showed. We have Pedro Pascal hanging out with somebody, and this is his photo, by the way. Hanging out with someone he's obviously friends with, and he decided to fuck with us and cover this person up with this pixelated shit and a cheesy ass crown. And of course, this got attention. As anything like this, especially at a rap party for a humongous movie, would get. And especially when we know it involves RDJ. So, of course, what do you think was everyone's first reaction to this picture? And who might this person be? Naturally, our first instinct is to go to RDJ. I mean, that makes the most sense, right? I mean, if you zoom in on it, it kind of looks like him. Doesn't it? There's just one problem. RDJ has been sober for over a decade now. And this is a beer. Next to another beer. Well, what used to be another beer. So, if this is RDJ, RDJ's being naughty. And that could be the entire... Exactly, Noah. And that could be the entire reason that Pedro's covering it up. However, I personally do not think RDJ would A, risk everything he's got going on right now to start drinking again, and B, remotely put himself in a position where he could be photographed drinking. Right? I mean, yeah, that is entirely possible, Brooke. This picture could be a troll by Mr. Pascal here. It could very easily be a troll. He could be fucking with us. it's even somewhat likely he's fucking with us. But it would be off the wagon, Noah. It would be off the wagon. It's obviously Grogu without his suit on. Could be. It's Biro, right? Could be Biro. I mean, there are a lot of reasons to think it's not, or it's like obvious, you know, that it's RDJ, that's like alcoholless boot or beer, you know, that kind of thing. But it just so happens, bear with me for a second here. Where'd it go? God damn it. Where'd you put it? Nope. There we go. Wham. There's this. This is currently how Cillian Murphy looks while he is also in England. Admittedly, he's there working on the Peaky Blinders movie. So it could just be two friends hanging out. You know? It could just be two friends hanging out. He and Cillian are friends, and he could just, you know, again, it could be a troll fucking with us. But let's say it's not. Let's say that is Mr. Murphy. This is where the fun begins, people. This is where the fun begins. Because we are going to ignore the most obvious solutions. We're going to ignore the fact that the shape of his head could easily also be Robert Downey Jr.'s and not Cillian Murphy's. We're gonna go ahead and give the benefit of the doubt to what's in that glass and say it's RDJ with Biro or some or O'Doul's or, you know, some other near beer product. We're going to ignore that possibility as well. We're going to ignore the possibility that it is Cillian Murphy, but he's just there because they're both in town and he wanted to go hang out with his buddy. Again, simple solution and probably a lot more likely than what we're about to talk about. But how fucking fun is that? Just going with the simple solution and moving on. It's not very fun. But we're going to have some fun. We're going to speculate. So, let's say that is Cillian Murphy. And let's say that Pedro covered him up. Not just to screw with us, not to troll with us, but because he did not want Cillian Murphy seen at the wrap party for the Fantastic Four. And let's say it's not because of some mundane reason. Let's say that Cillian Murphy is at the Fantastic Four wrap party because he was in the fucking movie. Let's start there. Let's assume that that is Cillian Murphy and he's at the wrap party because he was in the movie. So, as we all are aware, ever since it became known that Marvel was going completely away from Kang, let me repeat that, completely away from Kang, Kang stands completely away from Kang. And moving to Doom. Naturally, the fan casting began, and Mr. Cillian Murphy himself was quite high up on that list. Right? Y'all remember this. I mean, hell, Jared said Cillian for Doom or bust. So if Cillian is in this movie, of course the top possibility is that all the fan casting was right, and we are now getting two versions of Doom in Fantastic Four. Believe it or not, Travis, Cillian's a little guy. He's only 5'9". He's shorter than me. He, like Mr. Downey Jr., wears a lot of elevated foot gear. So, there's that to keep in mind. And I was reminded of that earlier when I was postulating things initially. I got corrected, had to rethink a few things. Oh, well. So, option one, Cillian Murphy is in Fantastic Four as a version of Doom. Let's say that's true. Is he an expendable version of Doom? Or is he going to be the version of Doom that takes over from Downey after Secret Wars? What do you guys think? You guys think that's the most likely scenario? Do you think that's what's likely, and or how much do you want it? Is that what you want? How much do you want it, and how likely do you think it is, chat? Because I'll tell you. For me, it's too early for two Dooms. You're literally introducing Robert Downey Jr.'s Doom in that movie. Now, am I saying we won't get other versions of Doom by the time Secret Wars is over? No, it's possible. There are ways to work that into the storyline. Yeah, that's definitely one option people are talking about, Noah. But here's where I would push back on that theory, and there's a couple things. One, the Russos and Feige have said over and over that RDJ is the definitive Doom. Now, does that eliminate the possibility of a secondary Doom? No. But they have made it a point over and over to say that RDJ is the definitive Doom. He is Doom, right? So there's that. And also, regardless of whether I think they should bring in other Dooms, and I kind of really don't, even assuming that it is in Marvel's plan to bring in other versions of Doom, bringing in two versions of Doom at the same time when you're really, really kicking off the end of the multiverse saga makes zero sense to me. I don't like it. It's way too early to introduce Dooms. Plural. So, while we could get more Dooms at some point, I hope not. We could. Fantastic Four for me is just way too early to introduce more than one Doom. You introduce RDJ's definitive Doom there. That's it. If you're going to bring in other Dooms, you do it later. Maybe in Doom Wars. Personally, I think you should wait till Secret Wars if you're going to do that at all. Or Doomsday, I mean. Not Doom Wars. That was totally a different comic event. That's when Doom took over Wakanda. Maybe in Doomsday. I personally, if I'm going to do it at all, which I wouldn't, if I'm Kevin, I would wait till Secret Wars to do it. I definitely 100% would not be behind introducing 2 Dooms in Fantastic Four. Okay? So, we come to what I think could be going on. And again, we're assuming that is Cillian in the picture. And that he's in the picture not because he's hanging out with his buddy Pedro, but because he's actually in the fucking movie. Now, if Kevin's thinking how I'm thinking, he ain't there to be Doom, bruh. But I'll tell you who he could be there to be. What the hell? Oh, there we go. Let's think about some reports we've heard. Okay? Specifically from Alex Perez. One thing Alex has brought up a couple times is the idea that there is a reasonable chance that we are going to get the Council of Reeds. Okay? Now, and then there's also the fact that in the Hickman Secret Wars, which they are obviously drawing heavily on, the Maker was one of the survivors in the Cabal's lifeboat. The Maker ended up on Battleworld. I think Cillian Murphy, if that is him, and if he's there because he's in the movie, and because I think it is way too fucking early to introduce a second Doom, I think there's a chance that Cillian Murphy could either be a Reed in the Council of Reeds, or possibly even the Maker. And there's definitely a way you could... Now, granted, the Maker in the comics came from the Ultimate Universe, one of the last 2 universes that battled it out. Because it was the Ultimate Universe and 616. And then, like I said, he ended up on the life raft with the Cabal, and that's how he ended up in Battleworld. So why would we see him as the Maker in the Fantastic Four? Well, I'll tell you. While in the Hickman run of the Fantastic Four, where he introduced the Council of Reeds, it is very true, like I said, that that the Maker was in the Ultimate Universe, and he was not a member of the Council of Reeds, right? But there's also this to consider. Marvel has always, since its inception, just done adaptations, right? They will take the themes they want and they will do slightly different things with them. Civil War is a great example. They had the premise, right? Team America versus Team Iron Man. God damn it, I just did a Josh thing. Team America versus Team Iron Man. Hi, Malice. You know, that was the basis of the comic book story, but the comic story was huge, right? Lot of characters in it. Obviously way too big to do in one feature film. So Marvel adapted. They condensed. They made adjustments, as they have done constantly. Like Infinity War and Endgame is not the same as Infinity War in the comics. There's a lot more characters in Infinity War in the comics. What the... God damn it, Malice. Come here. You froze my camera, bro. You messed with the cord. Hold on a second, folks. I love my cat, but he jiggled my cord. And he fucked up my camera. Nope. Bear with me. Do we have motion in the ocean? All right, cool. And we're back. Okay, so Marvel has a history of doing a lot of condensing and adjusting in their adaptations. So, who's to say, God, what the fuck, goddamn stupid motherfucking ass fucking camera? Cool. Womp. Where was I? Oh, yes. Marvel and its tendency to change shit when they adapt stuff. So who's to say that Marvel would not condense their reads and make the maker part of the council? He could still end up with the Cabal. He could leave the council and be like, fuck these idiots. And go play with Thanos and whoever else they're going to put on the Cabal or the Multiversal Masters of Evil or whatever the fuck they're going to call the bad guy team. Right? So it is entirely possible that they could introduce the Council of Reeds in the Fantastic Four like Perez has hinted at. And it is entirely possible, even somewhat likely, that Marvel does their usual condensed / adaptation thing and go ahead and instead of fucking around with the maker somewhere in some other universe, they're just going to drop him on the council. What do you think, chat? Do you like it? Would you be cool if he's just a Reed on the Council of Reeds? Personally, I think if you're going to hire Cillian Murphy, you're going to hire him to do something highly significant, which probably means some kind of version of Doom. But later, hopefully. Check the Discord. Are these the same people? Secret actor on set, but he looks taller. All right. As it relates directly to the story, I shall go look. What do you guys think, though? I freely admit it's a stretch. Like, it's a stretch. But theories based on not much often are. You know what I'm saying? What do you guys think, though? Do you like it? How possible do you think it is? What say you, chat? Come on, Discord. Hurry the fuck up. Wraps around. Fuck your folders, too. All right. Is this the picture you're talking about? Pixelated. Well, I'll tell you, whoever this is, at least from this angle, is probably about my height, which is a little bit over. It's a video. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. God damn it. Get out of there. Oh, yeah, that's the video I was talking about from earlier this week. See where their head is at compared to the truck. Womp. God damn it. Come on. Okay. So what we have here is a skinny motherfucker. A little bit hunched over, but head's about even with the doodad. So I would, rearview mirror. So I would say whoever this is, is probably pretty close to my height, 5'9", 5'10". And is a skinny motherfucker. But yeah, that's the video I was talking about earlier. And yeah, exactly, Matthew. Why would they announce RDJ's Doom and try to keep it a secret? Yeah, we all know that RDJ is going to be in there. So this has got to be somebody else, right? Could be Hiddleston. I thought that too. And I actually when I was until I saw what Cillian Murphy looked like in that other picture, I was thinking that could be Hiddleston. Although if you get in close, like really look at the chin and look at the hair and stuff, that doesn't really look much like Hiddleston, unfortunately. But that was one of my initial thoughts, is that it could be Hiddleston. And there is a way even seeing Loki and Fantastic Four makes sense. And I'll tell you what it is. Because I was one... God damn it, really? Sorry, folks, my camera's being dumb as shit. Nope. Can't afford a new camera right now. All right, cool. Okay, so. What do you guys think? Do you think it's Cillian? A. B. Yeah, we're still going. I just my camera cord's gotten a little sensitive with cats constantly running into it, climbing around my fucking desk, so there's that. Do you see me again yet? You should see me again yet. Yeah, you're seeing me again now. I just checked. So, now, as for whether it could be Tom Hiddleston, I doubt it. But like I said, that was my actual initial thought. Is, ooh, they could bring Hiddleston. And they could definitely do something with Loki in a 2 to 3 minute mid or post credit scene. Now, why would they do that? I'll tell you why. It is widely speculated that part of what Dr. Doom is going to have to do in order to achieve God Emperor Doom or God King Doom powers is he and Loki are going to have to throw down, and he's going to be wanting that throne at the end of time and whatever other technology He Who Remains had there for him to use to take over the multiverse. And more than likely, given how everything else has been set up and based on what's being thrown around out there by scoopers, like the good ones, again, Alex Perez under the cover of Theories, that we're not going to get a traditional battle world. Again, going back to Marvel adapting stuff, as I mentioned earlier. We're not going to get the traditional Hickman battle world. What we're going to get is a Doom-constructed new Sacred Timeline. So, it makes total sense for Doom to want the Loom technology and the tech at the end of time and the throne. Right? Makes total sense. So here's what I think could happen, right? Assuming that that's not Murphy, that that's actually Hiddleston, and that we're going to get some Loki in this movie. Here's how. Instead of Doom being introduced in a mid or post-credit scene, we get Doom in the last 3 or 4 minutes at the end of the main movie. Now, I don't know how much, like, action we get. I feel like we would get Doom and, like, the rotating camera thing while he's doing exposition. We might get some, a little bit of a montage, too. I feel like we'll get Doom talking about what he knows, what he's found out, what he still needs to find out. And I think if that happens, one of the things he's going to mention is he has become aware that he needs what Loki has at the end of time in order to form his own universe. Okay? And then the main part of the movie will end. And then in either a mid or a post-credit scene, we will come back to Loki there at the end of time on the throne holding the multiverse together. And since he's holding the multiverse together, he has knowledge of what happens in it, which means he will become aware of Doom's awareness of him. And that's what I think we're going to see. I think we're going to see Loki become aware of Doom's awareness of him. And then I think instead of that, I finally found my role, beatific, ready to serve look we got on his face at the end of Loki Season 2. I think once he figures that out, we're going to get Phase 1 face Loki again, which I would be excited for. But if that's Hiddleston, which I doubt, that's how I could see that going. We'll get Doom in the main part of the movie at the end, revealing himself to us, talking about what he's done to that point, so we have an idea of what he's been doing and why and what his future goals are. And he'll reveal that a necessary part of achieving his goals is getting to Loki at the end of time. And then in a mid or post-credit scene, we get to come back to Loki at the end of time with him realizing that he's about to be got after by one Victor Von Doom. What do you guys think of that possibility? Ricky Gervais voicing Herbie. Is he even on the cast? He should, at this point, anyone in the cast should be... Whoops. One moment. I'm dropping shit. I would think at this point, everyone that's in the cast currently should be on the IMDb. the full cast. Give me, here we go. Womp. Okay, yes, other cast. He's not on the list currently, but that could change. That could easily change. Because we got Paul Walter Hauser on here, but he could very easily be Mole Man. Natasha Lyonne on there, but she's probably the Thing's girlfriend. Can't remember her name. Got Malkovich on here, but he's been speculated to be, what is that, the Puppet Master? The Thing's girlfriend's dad. And someone else brought up another character he could be as well. I can't remember that off the top of my head either. But yeah, I mean, it's possible. I'll be honest. I just don't think the hair looks right for Gervais. And projecting the face shape kind of along this line. I mean, it could be. I'm not saying it's impossible. Yeah, yeah. And no, Ricky, you can't swear. Not in the Fantastic Four movie. All right, chat. Let's see what you got. What up, Prez? See what you got to say about my thoughts. I'm scrolling. Travis is probably nothing. Oh, wait. I'm going to go farther up than that. Doom Duo. I hope not, Noah. Travis, I think the upper body is too broad and chin is too square for Murphy. Cillian has a very round jawline without a pronounced chin. Could be, but it looks like someone shorter and stalker. No, he does not really have that unpronounced a chin, I don't think. And he's got a very angular mandible. It's square somewhat, but he's still very angular. No, it says, watch Cillian kill RDJ and the whole thing was a bait. Despite the mixed reviews of RDJ being Doom, I seriously think that would be a really bad idea. Especially with everything the Russos and Feige have said about RDJ Doom. That would be a horrendous idea, in my opinion. Noah says, but we're kind of in the middle of multiversal shit. So, I mean, yeah, but yeah, having Cillian kill off RDJ would be lame. Unless it happens at the literal end of Secret Wars. But I still don't see it happening. Man says he's an actor. He can play Iron Man and Doom, but I don't see it. Tony died. Oh, no, he's not going to be an Iron Man of any kind. He's going to be Victor Von fucking Doom. Okay, so Noah says, okay, so if there are two Dooms, you would be fine if it was the other way around and RDJ slaughters Cillian's Doom. That would be better, but I still don't want a second Doom in Fantastic Four whatsoever. Like, that's just way too fucking early, in my opinion. Man says, I doubt Tony is resurrected unless it's a different timeline Tony. Yeah, that only an Iron Man, only a Tony Stark variant that's the only way we would see Tony again. Like, the 616 Tony is dead. They vowed to keep him dead. It's just a question of if 616 Tony was actually Tony or if he's a Doom variant. But yeah, that version of Tony is done. They're not screwing with that. But yeah, if RDJ slaughters Cillian Doom, like if they treat Cillian more as a variant of RDJ than the other way around, then yeah, I'd totally be fine. But I still don't want two Dooms in Fantastic Four at all. Travis says probably nothing, but the bottom of the guy's plate says something. Can't figure out any complete words though. What are you talking about? Oh, that right there. Camembert. Oh, it's a cheese wheel. It's Camembert cheese. And I've heard that Cillian Murphy is very much a cheese guy. Yeah, that's a wheel of Camembert, bro. That that ain't no Velveeta. Camembert is kind of a higher tier cheese. So that's actually potentially a smidge of evidence in favor of the Cillian Murphy thing. I don't know what RDJ's stance on cheese is, honestly. But Brooke says Cillian as a maker would be fantastic. I agree. Maker's outfit is kind of scary looking too in a way. It's definitely intimidating. Noah would be down for the Maker. And if he's the Maker, he could still play another character like Doom in the future. Yeah, especially if they leave that Maker helmet on the whole time and don't show us his fucked up face. Brooke says would be happy if this theory turns out to be true. Cillian could be terrifying as the Maker. Oh, Cillian would be awesome as the Maker. Given how good he did as a Scarecrow in the Dark Knight trilogy, he could contribute that kind of talent to the MCU as well. Oh, yeah. Oh, and by the way, his character in Peaky Blinders is also a fairly intimidating fella. No, it says, I'm down for Cillian, but I personally don't think that's him in the video, but maybe the picture. Yeah. David says, Murphy appeared as Scarecrow in Batman, so if he appears as Doom, he will be the first actor to be in both franchises as different people. Yeah, I think you might be right on that one. And he says, I no longer have a cat, but he was like an alarm clock. They train you. It's morning, motherfucker. Where's my breakfast? Claws on the end of your bed. Well, I leave my cats free-range kibble. Like, I fill the bowl and just let them eat kibble all day. They only get one little bit. They get wet food at night. One time a day. And Gervais. We talked about him. Brooke says, does make sense since Loki for now is in charge of the entire multiverse. I remember in the Secret Wars, the Molecule Man is like a bomb to destroy the universe. Yeah, I have not figured out how they're going to address or / adapt the Molecule Man. I'm not sure how they're going to do that. I have a feeling, or I should say, I tend to want to agree with the speculation that they're using anchor beings in lieu of the Molecule Man. No, he doesn't use Brooke. He doesn't use the Molecule Man to trick the Beyonders. He uses a massive Molecule Man bomb to destroy them. It says even if that's not Tom, he's confirmed for both Avengers movies, so we could see that either way. Oh yeah, yeah. I feel like we're gonna see something like that at some point. But I love that theory. Thank you. Brooke says, we see the moment Loki realizes that he's in trouble because of Doom. That would be so cool. Loki finally meeting his match. I know, right? And I feel like you don't want to fuck around. Honestly, I feel like you don't want to fuck around in, like, setting that up. Like, how... Just imagine how hype that would be. You're watching Fantastic Four. They give us, like, 3 to 5 minutes of Doom at the end, letting us know what he's been doing, why he's been doing it, and what he thinks he needs to do next. And high on that list of next is Loki. And then we get Loki coming to the same realization in a post-credit scene. Ooh, baby. Ooh, baby, that would be so fucking hype. And people would love that shit. Fucking Doom versus Loki, like, officially set up. Oh, baby. I like it. Whoopsie. I lost my spot. Oh, no, that's it. Okay. No, it says, and then maybe we'll see the Watcher become aware of Loki, becoming aware of Doom, becoming aware of Loki. Entirely possible. Yeah, the hair does seem off. Yeah, Gervais always is, I mean, I imagine there's, you know, when we don't see him, this isn't the case, but a lot of the time we see Ricky Gervais, he is quite neatly coiffed. What up, Kendall? How you doing, man? I'm not sure how long you've been in here. I don't know how much you've heard, but what do you think of what you've heard? Man says, yeah, you don't play RDJ zillions of dollars for a fake out because you want to subvert expectations. Yeah. That is dead ass, Matthew. That would be some Lucasfilm shit is what that would do. Brooke says, I'm loving the theory that our Tony was a variant of Doom more and more each day. Maybe it's because of how Josh likes to hype it up. I mean, that probably has part of it. But on the other hand, like, just sitting back and, like, thinking about it, it honestly, at least to me, makes the fucking most sense. Brooke says, I want Cillian to be Maker instead of Doom, to be honest. I mean, kind of, yeah. I'm inclined to agree. Travis says, the morbid route is since Doom is self-conscious about his face, he replicates the face of other people using Tony's. I mean, could be. I don't know if Marvel would go quite that far with it, since, you know, normal Doom just covers that shit up with the mask. You know, I think, I mean, I suppose that's possible. And, you know, that would still fall in line with, fucking with Spider-Man, since he's supposed to be the anchor being of the 616, allegedly, speculatively, theoretically. Wanda is the Molecule Man, says Kendall. I mean, kind of. Could be. Brooke says, I hear some good stuff about the House of M Wanda comic line, but that's more relating to mutants. Yeah, I feel like that's probably something we'll see after the reboot, honestly. Or be referred to as a reason why we had shit all for mutants in this multiverse, although that's probably still more down to He Who Remains, honestly. I think we'll get a version of House of M at some point. Oh, yeah, and here I knew that. Yeah, Matthew says Keaton was Batman and also the Vulture. Yup. Bale was Batman and Gore. Yup. Well, that's funny. We've... How going back to that Pattinson meeting with Feige thing, how hilarious would that be if like outside of Val Kilmer, the three, and I don't count Clooney because that movie was ass, the three biggest Batmen all ended up, or three of the biggest Batmen. Some people would debate on how big Batfleck is, but like just saying three Batmen in general ended up in the MCU as well. That'd be fucking hilarious. Kendall says, not to say she is Molecule Man, but I don't think they'll use him. Directly, no. I don't think they're going to use him either. They're going to adapt. They're going to adapt something they already have to it. And Wanda will be a driving factor in Battleworld. Oh, definitely. Definitely. Also glad to hear you had a good holiday. Excellent. Travis says, the idea that under the mask, Doom needs the face of a hero to look at in the mirror for him to fully accept he is one. Yeah, I can see that, except at this point in time, Doom has absolutely no interest in being a hero. He wants to save the multiverse for himself. Like Doom doesn't get altruistic until after in the comics after Secret Wars when Reed fixed his face, and then he becomes the new Iron Man in an effort to turn over a new leaf. That's when he really starts turning over a new leaf, is after Secret Wars. But yeah, Doom prior to Secret Wars, there's no. He might be understandable. Like, we might be able to understand and even somewhat agree with his motivations, like a lot of people do when it comes to Thanos in the Infinity Saga. But he is going to be 100% a villain, and there's going to be no heroic desire in him. He might pay lip service to, his saving of the multiverse as a heroic thing, but he's really saving it to run it. Brooke says, if Kevin gets Robert Pattinson for the MCU, I wonder if Gunn will just endlessly complain about it on Twitter. Well, if not Twitter, Threads, or Blue Sky, but yeah, probably. Enjoying a nice winter fire at your parents' cabin. Oh, nice. Listen, fam in bed, listen to y'all, and watching Sports Center. Life's good. I mean, that is good. That is really good. So, how much did you catch, Kendall? Like, I've been doing a lot of speculating. Like, first of all, we're assuming... did you see the picture? Oops, that one. This is the picture I've been talking about and basing all this on. This is from the Fantastic Four rap party in London. And Pedro threw this picture up himself. He's the one that threw this shit on there in the first place before he put it out in the world. And so thus all the speculation begins. Whose is that? Is that RDJ? Don't think so, because this is Booze, and he's been sober. So who else could it be? Well, some people seem to think it's Cillian Murphy, and I just took that and went with it. Saying, okay, if it's Cillian Murphy, is he there as a second Doom based on all, did they do the fan casting Krasinski thing? Is it going to be a second Doom? Personally, I hate that fucking idea. We do not need two Dooms in Fantastic Four. So if he's not going to be another fan cast Doom, who will he be? I think a version of Reed, if not the Maker. And I think Marvel doing what they do in terms of adaptation and condensation, it wouldn't surprise me that rather than having the Maker separate over here with the Cabal and shit, we get a version of the Maker on the Council of Reeds that Perez has been hinting at for a while now. Or it's a friend who doesn't want to be in a public photo. Yeah, I mean, there are so many more, probably much more likely, much more mundane explanations. But I decided to make a couple of assumptions and then fucking speculate off of those. But yeah, a friend who doesn't want to be in public photo, quite likely. That is definitely a much more likely scenario that it's Cillian Murphy and that he's not there just as a buddy to Pedro because he's also in London filming the Peaky Blinders movie and is just like, hey, let me come celebrate with you. Could be that. Although they may not, admittedly, he may not have covered his face because of that. If he was just there as a buddy. Again, another much more mundane, much more likely explanation. And I freely admit this. My speculation is all a stretch. I'm well aware of how much of a stretch this all is. But it's fun. And that's why I'm doing it. It's fun to think about the possibilities. So I thought about them, and now I'm talking about them. That's it. But yeah. A friend who doesn't want to be in a public photo is much more likely than all the stuff I've been spinning out here, but nowhere near as fun. Can't hear Cillian without thinking of the villain in the Running Man, the Arnold movie. I haven't watched that in so long, but if you've ever read the King book as Richard Bachman, The Running Man, the Arnold movie Running Man, is associated with the book story only in the most absolute basic way possible. And it's nowhere near as good. And I, at this point, really have no interest in seeing the reboot. Oh, you're just being facetious? I mean, the funny part is your facetiousness is probably much closer to the truth than all my speculation. Like, real talk, that's probably the fucking case. But that mundane shit is no fun at all. I figured I'm going to have fun with this. And so I did. Honestly, I came up with the Loki thing first because initially I'm like, well, if that ain't RDJ, and there's no point in covering RDJ's face at this point, I thought maybe it's Hiddleston. And so I came up with that Loki shit. And then some people pointed out that it could be Cillian Murphy, and then I was like, okay, what if it is? What are they gonna do with that? And then I came up with what I came up with that. So, yeah, it's literally based. It's not based on a rumor or anything like that. It's based slightly off things that some scoopers have said that are 100% not even directly related. And just pure fun. Maggie says, they aren't bringing back Black Widow, Evans Cap, or Thor, are they? Well, Thor never went anywhere, so he's not dead. So, yeah, they're definitely bringing back Thor. Black Widow and Evans Cap. There's a rumor going around that we could potentially see the OG6, but now I think we're going to see Thor regardless. But there's a rumor set out that we could see the OG6, but evil versions of them. So I think we're going to get normal Thor because he's actually not dead like the Black Widow or like aged and retired like Chris Evans Cap. He's just out there in the cosmos with with eternity in the form of a little girl. So yeah, we're definitely getting OG Thor back. And if the rumors are true, we will also get an evil version of Thor, along with the rest of the 5 of the OG Avengers, but evil versions. Travis says the Running Man book was way less upbeat. Oh yeah. Who else? What? Noah. Travis says, randomly Googled Paul Mescal, his Gladiator 2 co-star, and it kind of looks like him too. That's possible. I mean, that's totally possible. Like I said, it's very likely that it could be some kind of friend who just, for whatever reason, did not want their presence advertised there. So yeah, it could be Paul Mescal. But I don't know why Pedro would cover Paul Mescal's face, especially since Paul Mescal, like you brought up, is huge right now with the Gladiator 2. I mean, honestly, that's a reason both for and against the cover-up, you know? C-Dub says, chill and check out my pic I sent on Discord. Caught a weird fire cross in the pic. All right. Check that out. No. Oh, bro. That is dope. Look at that. I like it. That's pretty sweet. And very smart of you to wear socks so you don't trigger any foot fetish people. Noah says, who else could it be? Any other guesses? Oh, Who else could it be? I mean, it could be a non-famous cousin of Pedro's who doesn't want their face out there. Noah for free. Could be Hezbollah. The fuck are you talking about? I saw one person think it could be Oscar Isaac, just because he and Pedro were close. And that also kind of looks like him too a little bit, especially with the hair. Now, even if it is Oscar Isaac, I seriously don't think we would be getting Moon Knight in the Fantastic Four. So, guess stream is almost over. That entirely depends on you guys. I've gone over my main story, but you know, I am always down to chat about whatever's on your guys' mind till whenever. So, it could be almost over. It could go on for quite some time. I don't know. For for all we know, it could be a crew member they didn't want their face out there, but that Pedro kind of likes. Could be another actor that we literally know nothing about for a role we know nothing about. You know, there's no telling. Man says, but another Waititi comedy everyone hates. New director for Thor. Oh, yeah. Thor 5 is totally going to have a new director. Like, that's been talked about for a minute. Like, they totally want to go way serious with Thor 5 whenever the fuck we get it. Like, that's totally the plan. Look up Hezbollah. It's him, bro. Take a blinker. Oh, I will. Just let me look up this Hezbollah person. And I wasn't even severely blinkered up when I came up with this shit. Wait. Yes, I was. Seriously, Noah? What? Get off of there. Are you talking about a different Hezbollah than this little kid here? Okay, he's not a kid. He's got dwarfism, and he's 22. Oh, from Makashkala, Dagestan. Wow, if he'd been full grown, he probably would be another Dagestani trained fucking MMA fighter. Good lord. I'm gonna I'm gonna go with probably not, but that is kind of funny on the other hand. Cedar says no one wants to see my feet. Played soccer in college, broken my toes so many times they're bent in the shape of a soccer shoe. Well, I'll tell you what, C-Dub. I guarantee there are jacked up foot fetishist people out there. He doesn't have dwarfism? So am I thinking of... Are we looking at... Am I looking at the wrong Hezbollah then? Because this Hezbollah has dwarfism and is only 3 feet 4 inches tall. He has the same as Webster. Okay. Oh, but he hangs out with all the with the MMA fighters. Cool. Okay. Well, okay, so it's not like regular ass dwarfism, but he is genetically, medically, vertically challenged. He did fight Mike Tyson. He's the size of Mike Tyson's forearm. No, it's the same. I don't fucking know. Regardless, I don't think that's him. In C-Dub, you're wrong. There are people out there who would love to see your busted ass feet. Just saying. they're out there. They are out there. Yeah. Travis says, I feel like Thor 5 with Taika would just become Ted Lasso. Oh, it's not happening. There will be no more Taika Thor. CW says, oh, I thought he has where he stops getting HGH or something like that cut off at a certain age. He definitely has a severe lack of it as a condition. I think they mentioned. What's this goddamn name? Okay. Let me see what it said again. Oh, goddamn it. That's not what I wanted you to do. That's what I wanted you to do. Yeah, he just had. Yeah, he definitely has a massive deficiency in HGH. For sure. I don't think it was cut off at a certain age. I just think he never had the shit. Like, he was born that way. Brooke said Thor 5 should be much more serious, hopefully back to Ragnarok levels. I hope it needs to get more serious than Ragnarok even. Like, there needs to be nothing about Taika about Thor 5. Travis says Thor starts an Asgardian soccer team for his daughter and goes up against Hercules' team. It's so vivid in my brain. Jesus Christ, Travis. Why would you put that into the universe, bro? Manny says, I almost feel bad for him because none of the movies are getting made. No Star Wars, no Flash Gordon, and no Akira. Oh, Taika? Like, outside of Star Wars and the MCU, yeah, you know, it is kind of a bummer that he's not getting his other shit made, but I'm 100% not depressed about him not being able to touch Star Wars or Marvel. I'm not. Not even a little. I'll be right back. I'm going to go take Kendall's advice. Yeah. Exactly, Noah. No Taika? Who the fuck cares? Travis says Taika would fit doing a Ghostbusters movie, I think. His type of humor would translate better in that world. Oh, I totally agree. Yes, Blinky the Sword. May says, to be honest, Flash Gordon has racist origins and can't be done anymore, and it's Disney. Oh, it can totally be adjusted for modern sensibilities, for sure. Racism can be, is that COVID or a blinker? Oh, it's blinker. Total blinker. Taika actually has a show on Hulu. It looks sick. Well, I'll tell you what. I'm not saying I don't like Taika, period. Right? I just don't like Taika in Star Wars or Marvel. Or probably DC. Actually, when James Gunn really gets into James Gunn, he doesn't need Taika. At least for me, he doesn't. But yeah, I mean, I have full confidence that he could make, a movie I would like or a show I would like. As long as it's not in my fucking nerdy IP. That's all. I just don't want him anywhere near my nerdy IP. Do what the fuck you want outside of that. I don't care. I may even appreciate it. Just stay the hell out of my Marvel, Star Wars, and DC. And or Star Trek. That's all I want. It's called Interior Chinatown. We'll look up a synopsis. Story of an Asian American actor struggling against cliched roles and stereotypes both at work and in his personal life. Yeah, you could do a shit ton with that. That's for sure. Ooh, Chloe Bennett's in it. Oh, Daisy, my Daisy. You definitely make me quake, Chloe Bennett. Anyway. Travis says, I did like Taika's Star Wars episode a lot, even Jason Sudeikis punching a baby. What the fuck? Yeah, okay. Man, it says you can't do Mongo as Asian or a Fu Manchu Ming. You have to reimagine like 80s comic that made Ming white. Yeah, oh yeah, definitely. Like Ming does not have to be an Asian name. It could very easily be an alien name of, any nature. So yeah, I mean, fixing Flash Gordon would not be that hard to do. Honestly, it really wouldn't. Could have seen him do a Skeleton Crew episode. Yeah, that would definitely be right up his alley. It's very fourth wall breaking. Oh, yeah. Oh yes, Chloe Bennett. Mm-hmm. Just as a reminder, for those of you Yes, that is Chloe Bennett. Jason Sudeikis was a scout trooper who punched Grogu in the... Oh, okay. Go change my name to Ming? No. That ain't happening. I am not culturally suicidal. Mary says, it's funny. It started out as a direct sequel to the 80s movie, though... To the 1980 movie, though, and they were going to bring back Sam Jones. I mean, I would like to see a Flash Gordon remake, honestly. I mean, story-wise, forget, like, the acting and all that other shit, and, like, all the questionable shit that they put in it. Story-wise, it's just a dope sci-fi story, and I'm ready for some dope sci-fi. Oh, yeah. Chloe Bennett is... gorgeous. I mean, come on now. Okay, enough of that. Womp womp. But yeah. And it says Akira has to be Neo Tokyo if it ever gets made. No Neo New York and no making the lead American. I mean, yeah. There are plenty of very good Asian actors who can handle all these Asian roles, for sure. For sure. Like the homie that played Shang Tsung back in the original Mortal Kombat, I love that motherfucker. I don't know what he's doing these days, but he needs to get back into being in more shit. In my opinion. Okay. Noah says, I thought she was going to show up in Secret Invasion, but I'm so glad she didn't. Yeah. No. I never thought she was going to show up in Secret Invasion, but I do agree. I'm glad she was not in that fucking piece of shit show. I'm very glad. I would love to see Quake brought into the MCU. And not just because Chloe Bennett's hot. I actually liked the character in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Matter of fact, I want Ming-Na Wen's character brought into the MCU. Just because I'm a fan of Ming-Na Wen. Travis says the actor who played Liu Kang in the '95 Mortal Kombat film would have been great as Shang-Chi if they did it back then. Oh yeah, he would have been definitely a good choice as Shang-Chi back in the '90s for sure. Maybe he says the manga and anime should be the basis. It's hard to believe Jordan Peele almost made it. Is that who is behind the temporary resurgence of the Flash Gordon idea? Or the Akira? Are you talking about Flash Gordon or are you talking about Akira? I think you're probably talking about Akira. Akira, okay. Well. Kendall says, Chloe doesn't get me going for some reason. I mean, not ever. Just because I think some chick's hot doesn't mean you're gonna. But on the other hand, you're fucking insane. Anyway, but yeah, no, I mean, that's fair. Travis says, bringing back memories of all the 90s fight game movies. Double Dragon with Robert Patrick and Alyssa Milano. God. Yeah, I mean, the 90s fight game movies were... I would say most of them fall under or some of them fall under the so bad they're good category. You know? I mean, Melissa Milano, 90s Melissa Milano is always a plus, though. You know what I'm saying? Ban Kendall? No, I'm not going to ban Kendall. Just because he's foolish enough to not think Chloe Bennett is hot. Oh, God, I would love her to quake my world. Woo! Like, I mean, that is one thing. Like, I saw a tweet about, like, the quality of hot in the MCU, and it's fucking up there, bro. I mean, think about it. ScarJo, Kobe Smulders, what's her butt that just got engaged? Haley Steinfeld, fucking Captain Carter. What's her guy? Haley Atwell. Now Vanessa Kirby, Lizzie Olsen. I mean, once you eliminate the cringe speak, Brie Larson's fucking fine. ScarJo from Iron Man 2 is simply the best. I mean, good God. I know I'm forgetting some. Oh, Zoe Saldana. Even Pom Clemente's pretty. The many fine-looking women in the MCU. Like, they don't fuck around with that. Gwyneth Paltrow. She's pretty. Marissa Tomei. Oh, yeah. Another good call, Trav. Marissa Tomei. I mean, yeah, the Tessa Thompson. Yeah. What's her fuzz? Even though she was in that completely horrific show. Fucking Khaleesi. Emilia Clarke. Yeah. Imagine Raul Julius Bison meeting the Shang Tsung from MK95. Oh, yeah. As I'm very attracted to Asian women. Chloe is a smoke show. Oh, yeah. Tom Hiddleston. What the fuck, Noah? I mean, Hiddleston's a handsome dude, but we're talking about the ladies here. Gunnar says, yeah, Brie gives off more of a screw me aura. I mean, a little bit. Zendaya. Yep. Monica Rambeau. Yep. Maria Rambeau. She's a good-looking woman. I mean, she's not as much of a smoke show as some of that list, but she definitely ain't. She ain't plain. She ain't homely. She pretty. I mean, underneath all the makeup, fucking Gillian Anderson that plays Nebula is fucking fine too. I don't know if y'all knew that. Oh, wrong one. Shit, what's her name? Oh, Karen Gillan. Yeah. Yeah, that's Nebula under the makeup. I'm going to let you drink that in for a bit there. Actress for Peggy Carter. Yeah, that's Haley Atwell. That's Haley Atwell. And, like, nothing, no outfit they put her in the MCU really does her justice. Here, let me show you. There's your Captain Carter, folks. Christian Kat Denning. Oh, yeah. Christian Ritter from Jessica Jones. Yup, Brooke. Can you really blame Steve for going back in time for no. Because, my God. Travis says, Karen Gillan looks like she should be Kim Possible if they ever do that as a movie. I'm trying to remember what Kim Possible looks like. Google Mbatha Raw. Okay. Okay, I'm just going to drink in Haley for another few seconds here because, oh my God. I mean, just real quick, though. Tell me the MCU did not hide her. She got hid. She got hid like crazy. Oh yeah, that's what's her fuzz? Ravonna Renslayer, right? I can pick a better one. Oh, what are you doing? Stop it. Yeah. Yeah, Ravonna Renslayer. Yeah, she do look good too. You want a different pick for Rabona? She doesn't seem to be as flaunty a lady as some are. Oh, there we go. Let's take a Haley Atwell deep dive. Oh, dude. Swimming cap on. But yeah, Ravonna Renslayer looked good too. For sure. She's got that cake. The movie Lift with Kevin Hart. Which she? Mabatha? Mabatha Raw is modest. I respect that. Yeah, I mean, to each their own. If you want to flaunt it, flaunt it. If you don't, don't. You know? I ain't judgy either way. If you want to wear nothing but like turtlenecks and slacks, do your thing. If you want to be having half the girls out 24/7, do your thing. You know? However you present yourself, ladies, ain't up to me. What? No. Yeah, right. Do. Yeah. But yes, the smoke show quotient in the MCU is ridiculous. For sure. It says, I knew Mbatha first from Cloverfield Paradox, where she's on a ship with 2 other MCU villains. Nice. Maddie says, Jessica Henwick was Rey in Star Wars for 6 months until replaced by Daisy Ridley. Who the fuck is Jessica Henwick? And did we lose? We lost. Although she does kind of also look like Natasha Lou Bordizzo. She could very easily have been, what's her butt? Sabine. But yeah, we lost. We lost. Yeah, I can see why you brought her up, Matthew. Jessica Henwick plays Jessica Pava in the sequel as a pilot in Poe Dameron's squadron. Oh. Well, that's still a massive demotion, and it never should have happened. Unless, like, her acting really sucks bad. God is right, Jared. She'd be ruined by terrible writing. I mean, that's true. Or yeah, no matter who played Rey, the way she was written, it would have sucked. But on the other hand, her over Daisy Ridley watching the sequels on, say, mute. Just saying. How did we get to this point? What? Talking about hot women's? Well, Kendall, you know me. We need a Kendall Justin stream soon. I mean, yeah, that's true, but Kendall has a child, like, ready to say hello to this world. So, you guys may have to settle for me and Justin for a little bit. Jessica Henwick was also Colleen from Iron Fist as well. Oh! I knew she looked a little familiar. Okay. Yeah. This is the Fap and Nap basement. I mean, once we're done with all the regular news, kinda. I mean, when you're in the basement by yourself late at night, I mean, you never fucking know what's going to happen. Just saying. Just saying. Oh, I know you do, Dub. But yeah, no, I'm totally in agreement. Once Kendall gets, like, you know, the new baby stuff situated, I'm sure the dojo will open back up and we'll all pile in there for Sheezy. Just says, stop it. Well, I mean, y'all know me. I'm the same horny G. Like my dirty mindedness has never been a secret, whether here or in other people's chats. You know. Now, I would love for them to bring Colleen Wing back from Iron Fist. Just in general, I liked her character more than I liked fucking that Poindexter of a Danny Rand. That's for damn sure. So yeah, I'd get her in the MCU. Get her back. Bring her in. I mean, they've canonized the Netflix shows. Get her on the horn, Kevin. Let's do this shit. Yeah, he'll be back once things settle down for sure. Yeah, there's Baby and then there's Nerdy. Baby come first. See, it says, damn, I'm so happy I'm done with the little ones, but I do miss the 6 to 18 months period as a dad. I feel that. I've been around, like, we've been staying with the kids for a while, so Buggy just turned 2 in September. He's like 26 months now. Oh, yeah, that damn right, C-Dub. Yes, we can do anything we can do for the Kendall or anyone in our community. Zzz. As we have much crossover. And Justin says, forever kidless over here. Just make sure you wrap it up tight, bruh. That's all I'm saying. Travis says, imagine Rey had been a scavenger who finds a busted lightsaber, fixing it terribly. Lasers fly out of it when she tries to ignite it, and she pretends to be a Jedi to get out of trouble. Um. No, thank you. Brooke says, I bet raising kids is tough at times, but rewarding. Yeah, that's what the parents say, or at least the good ones say. Just a hashtag pull out game strong. I mean, that's good and all, but pull out game don't do nothing for, like, you know, dick rot. Of all the varying types that exist out there. So, you know. Kendall says, lost me at Imagine Ray. Just kidding. Trey says, I think something like that would have made it more fun. A thief lying about being a Jedi, meeting a stormtrooper lying about being a rebel, both forced to be heroes. That was the George Lucas pitch. Really? It's not what I understand his sequel treatment was. There was a lot of Luke, some Maul, some Darth Talon. All that, you know, like, yeah. Steve says, the first 6 months is tough for a dad. You have to accept that they're just going to want mom way more than you. And that's okay and normal. Yeah. And he says, I like the scavenger idea and next Stormtrooper. Then they did nothing with either of them. Finn just yelled Rey. Rey was an instant Jedi. Yeah, that's some pretty fucking weak writing. That's funny. Just kidding. Kind of. But honestly, a thief lying about being a Jedi, I think we're getting that starting Monday. Or something like that. Starting Monday. Yeah. All right, folks. I think I'm a dip. It is time to go. And not just because I need to pee. Although I do need to pee. Y'all have to let you know how that goes. Sure. I mean, you're kind of going to be forced into it come Wednesday because I'm going to talk about it at least a little bit. So, yeah, you'll find out. Travis says, we now have a critically acclaimed movie in theaters where someone does a Jar Jar impression. Good times indeed. What the fuck are you talking about, Travis? Oh, you're going to dip too and rewatch the first 53 minutes? Appreciate that. The book canon, she downloaded Kylo's Sith and Jedi training. Oh. All right. Yeah, I'm not surprised, Dub. Fireplaces are relaxing as fuck. They definitely are sleep-inducing. But yeah. I'm outie, folks. As usual, I don't have chat replays for my stream vids. No. I'm not. I should probably try and figure out how to do that if I can do that. Hugh Grant does a Jar Jar impression in Heretic. Really? Jesus Christ. Oh, thanks, Travis. You have a good night too, bro. Matter of fact, all of you have a good night. And a good weekend. And of course, thank you for taking the time to hang out with me here in the basement. I know I say this every time, but it's always true. There's no way I can ever properly express how awesome it is and how grateful I am that you guys choose to spend time with me. I do have live chat replay. All right, cool. Thanks, Jay. Appreciate that. But yeah, you guys are fucking awesome. It's truly amazing that, like, people want to hang out and just listen to me talk about shit. So, y'all are the bomb. I appreciate you more than words can say. I love y'all. And I hope you have a great rest of your weekend. And we will see you Wednesday night. And when I say we, I mean we, i.e. me and Justin, doing some justified chilling this coming Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But until then, y'all be safe. Have a good weekend. See you laters. Peace. Oh, yeah. I think that was a pretty fucking good stream, people. I hope you did too. That was a lot of fun. A lot of speculation based off not much. But that's the best kind, if you think about it. I had a really good time with y'all. I hope you had a really good time with me. Thank you for being here. Whether you were active in the chat, whether you're just lurking and chilling, whether you made it all the way through this on the replay, thank you, thank you, thank you. Hit all the buttons. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, hit the notification bell. If you're on the replay, leave comments. Let me know what you think about my thoughts. I want to know. But once all that fun stuff is done, I want y'all to have a safe and happy weekend and a good beginning to your work week. And then we'll see y'all right back here Wednesday night. All right? But until then, wherever you're at and whoever you're with, always keep it nerdy. Much love, y'all. Peace.